Your person once had a real and genuine opportunity to be with you, to choose you openly and wholeheartedly, but instead they allowed ego to guide their decisions. They chose karmic people and situations that felt familiar or convenient at the time, believing those paths would somehow serve them better. What they did not realize then was that these choices would only lead them further away from what truly mattered. Now, despite the distance and the choices made, their thoughts are constantly filled with you. You remain present in their mind in quiet moments and loud ones alike, and this is something even the people around them have begun to notice. Those close to them can sense that something is missing, that their attention drifts, and that their energy is no longer fully invested where they physically are. Although your person may be present in the company of others, their heart and mind are no longer there. On the surface, they appear to be living a life they chose, but internally they feel disconnected and unfulfilled. Their emotional world revolves around you, replaying memories, conversations, and moments they once took for granted. There is a deep inner conflict because their body remains in one place while their soul feels anchored somewhere else, firmly with you. This inner separation weighs heavily on them and has become impossible to ignore. Sadness has settled into their heart, largely because the people they chose over you revealed their true nature. What once seemed promising has turned cold and disappointing. These individuals showed themselves to be selfish, emotionally unavailable, and lacking the depth your person truly needed. Your person now understands, perhaps too late, that the connection they shared with you was rare and genuine, something that cannot be easily replaced. This realization brings regret, and with it, a quiet grief for what was lost due to pride and hesitation. At the same time, there is fear living alongside this regret. Your person hopes you have not moved on to someone new or better, even though they know you deserve happiness and fulfillment. There is an unspoken worry that while they were lost in their own ego-driven choices, you may have found someone who values you fully. This fear pushes them to consider action, yet they move cautiously, unsure of how to approach you after so much time has passed. They are torn between longing and hesitation, desire and doubt. Their heart continuously pulls them back toward you, reminding them of what feels like home. However, deep down, they recognize that when they walked away, they were not prepared to make the significant changes required to truly be with you. Commitment, emotional growth, and personal transformation felt overwhelming at the time. Rather than facing those challenges, they chose what felt easier, only to realize later that avoiding growth came at a much higher cost. Now, they stand at a point of reflection, acknowledging their past immaturity and emotional resistance. Your person genuinely wants to prove to you that they have changed. This desire is not just about words but about becoming someone who can show up consistently and responsibly. They feel that time and distance have taught them painful but necessary lessons. The separation forced them to confront themselves, their fears, and the consequences of their choices. They are slowly coming to terms with the fact that growth cannot be avoided forever, especially when love is involved. Being away from you for this long was never part of their original plan. They never imagined a future where your absence would feel so heavy or where days would pass without your presence in their life. The distance has made them realize how deeply they depended on your emotional connection, your understanding, and your support. They miss you more than they ever expected to, and this longing has begun to affect their sleep, their peace, and their sense of stability. Nights are often restless, filled with thoughts of you and what could have been. Despite everything, your person is quietly making their way back toward you. They do so silently, not because they do not care, but because they fear appearing weak or vulnerable. Admitting their mistakes feels exposing, and yet their heart urges them forward. They are learning that true strength does not lie in ego or avoidance but in honesty and accountability. Even if they do not yet know how or when, their intention to reconnect with you grows stronger with each passing day. I have been watching and observing you for a long time, quietly and patiently, and through that observation I began to understand something very important about you. I realized how much effort you put into making things happen, how you never simply wait for life to hand you what you want, but instead work relentlessly to shape your own reality. Through you, I learned that dreams do not simply appear or come true by chance, they are created. They are built slowly by listening to our inner voice, trusting our intuition, and consistently working toward our goals even when the path feels uncertain or difficult. You made me realize that believing in ourselves is not enough unless we are also willing to act on that belief. You also taught me the power of opening the mind and accepting the reality of what is happening within us. I learned that true transformation begins from inside, when we have the courage to look at our own thoughts, fears, and motivations honestly. Accepting who we truly are, instead of running away from uncomfortable truths, is one of the most important keys to changing our lives for the better. Because of you, I began to understand that growth is not about pretending to be perfect, but about acknowledging our flaws and working through them with awareness and patience. There is so much I want to say and so many emotions I wish I could express fully, but if there is one thing you need to know, it is this: my soul truly loves yours. That connection goes beyond words, logic, and circumstances. It exists on a deeper level, one that feels natural and pure. At one point in my life, my goals were not driven by good intentions. All I wanted was wealth, power, and dominance. I believed that money would give me confidence and control over others, and that success meant standing above everyone else. I thought that if I achieved these things, I would finally feel complete. But you changed that perspective completely. You taught me that true success is not about dominating others, but about taking responsibility for making the world a better place, even in small ways. You showed me that kindness, honesty, and integrity carry more weight than any amount of wealth or influence. Because of you, I learned that confidence does not come from putting others down, but from lifting them up and staying true to one's values. You helped me see that a meaningful life is not measured by what we own, but by how we treat people and how much positive impact we leave behind. Yes, it was you who taught me kindness in its purest form, and honesty in its truest sense. You helped me understand emotions that I once ignored or misunderstood. I now fully understand how you feel about me, and I want you to hold on to positive thoughts, with faith in your heart, and trust that my love for you is real. I want you to believe that nothing can break the pure and sincere love we share with each other. It is not fragile, it is strong, rooted in understanding, acceptance, and emotional truth. Before meeting you, my emotional world was very dark and limited. Anger and frustration were the only emotions I truly recognized. I carried them with me every day, letting them shape my thoughts and reactions. Inside, I felt empty and deeply alone, as if something essential was missing from my life. Yet on the outside, I learned how to stay calm and composed. I wore a mask of control so that no one could see what was really happening within me. I kept my pain hidden, convincing myself that showing vulnerability was a weakness and that no one would truly understand me anyway. But you were different. You saw straight through that mask. You noticed the parts of me that I had carefully hidden from everyone else, the fear, the loneliness, the confusion, and the unspoken pain. You did not turn away from those parts, instead, you acknowledged them and accepted them without judgment. That alone changed me. For the first time, I felt truly seen, not just for who I pretended to be, but for who I really was beneath the surface. Because of you, I learned that vulnerability is not something to be ashamed of. It is a strength that allows real connection to exist. You helped me understand that love is not about perfection, but about acceptance, patience, and growth. You showed me that it is okay to feel deeply, to question myself, and to evolve. The person I am today is not the same person I was before meeting you, and that change is something I am truly grateful for. In many ways, you helped me rediscover myself. You turned my anger into awareness, my frustration into motivation, and my emptiness into purpose. And for all of that, I will always carry a deep respect and love for you, one that comes from the soul, honest and unwavering. Your partner blocked you because they were influenced by others, acting not from their own true feelings but from voices around them that planted doubt and fear in their mind. At the time, they may not have realized how easily they were being controlled, but through your quiet strength, self-awareness, and emotional maturity, you showed them a powerful truth, that when someone is disconnected from their inner voice, they become vulnerable to outside manipulation. Despite the distance and silence, the truth remains clear: it is you they want. It has always been you. This is why it is important not to let social media trends, outside opinions, or temporary noise prevent you from opening your heart to what is real. Social media can easily distort reality, creating unnecessary confusion, insecurity, and a flood of negative thoughts and emotions. If you allow those distractions to dominate your mind, they can cloud your intuition and weaken your emotional clarity. Instead, you are being called to look beyond the surface and recognize the deeper truth of the connection you share with your partner. There is a bond between you that goes far deeper than momentary misunderstandings or impulsive decisions. This connection is rooted in shared emotions, unspoken understanding, and an energetic pull that cannot be erased by distance or silence. Even though circumstances caused separation, the emotional cord between you was never truly cut. Your partner feels this deeply, whether they openly admit it or not. Beneath their actions, there is longing, reflection, and a growing awareness of what they may have lost. They are craving a deep, honest, heart-to-heart conversation with you, one that allows both of you to speak openly, without fear, pride, or external interference. They want to be heard, but more importantly, they want to truly hear you. When your partner walked away and you chose to continue on your own path, it left them completely shocked. They expected hesitation, emotional dependence, or an attempt to chase them. Instead, you stood firm in your self-worth and allowed life to move forward. This decision marked a turning point. Your independence forced them to confront the reality that you are not someone who can be taken for granted. You did not collapse under the weight of separation. Instead, you grew stronger, more grounded, and more aligned with yourself. This unexpected strength unsettled them and awakened a sense of urgency within their heart. Your partner knows that you have choices. They understand that you are capable of moving forward, meeting new people, and building a fulfilling life without them. Yet, despite this realization, they want to be your number one. The thought of someone else taking their place triggers deep emotional reflection. It pushes them to examine their own behavior, their fears, and the reasons they allowed others to influence their decisions. They are becoming increasingly aware that what they share with you is rare and not easily replaceable. You now appear confident, graceful, and emotionally balanced. There is a calm power in your presence that naturally draws attention. Without saying much, you radiate self-respect and inner peace, and this has captured all of your partner's focus. They are watching you more closely than you realize, noticing the way you carry yourself and the way you no longer seek validation from external sources. Your single status has intensified their emotions, making them impulsive and restless. It reminds them that time is not guaranteed and that opportunities can be lost if not acted upon. This realization awakens a desire within them to pursue you properly, not from ego or fear, but from a genuine wish to be seen as mature, stable, and emotionally secure in your eyes. They want to prove that they are capable of growth and responsibility. They want to show you that they can stand on their own, make decisions independently, and protect the connection rather than allowing others to interfere. Their desire to be worthy of you is becoming stronger with each passing moment. For many of you, this phase is also marked by subtle signs of communication. These signs may not always be direct messages or clear words, but rather intuitive feelings, unexpected reminders, dreams, or emotional shifts that signal your partner's presence in your energetic space. These subtle signals reflect their internal struggle, the desire to reach out battling with fear of rejection or vulnerability. Even in silence, there is communication happening on a deeper level. Ultimately, this journey is not just about reconnection, it is about growth, clarity, and truth. Whether your paths fully align again or not, you are being guided to remain grounded in your self-worth and to trust your intuition. The connection you share has already served a purpose, awakening strength, awareness, and emotional depth within both of you. Whatever unfolds next will do so not from fear or illusion, but from a place of authenticity, understanding, and conscious choice.